Hey Dan. Do you remember Mario is Missing? It was an educational game published not by Nintendo, but by the Software Toolworks, an American developer with a library of both educational and more traditional games, such as the Chess Master series. The first version was released for MS-DOS in early 1993, but slightly reworked versions for both the NES and the Super Nintendo were released later the same year. The setup for the game is that Bowser and his Koopas have invaded our real world from the Mushroom Kingdom and have stolen valuable artifacts from major cities. Their ultimate goal is to sell those artifacts for money, use the money to buy hairdryers, and melt Antarctica to flood the world. As the title suggests, Mario is gone, having been kidnapped by Bowser, so it's up to Luigi to save the day. This is actually Luigi's first starring role in a video game, so let's begin our search for Mario. We start here in the first area of Bowser's Antarctic castle, where we have 5 doors to choose from. The controls are very simple: left and right, move left and right. Up will enter doors. It will also move up streets when we get into the cities, and down will move down streets. The B button will jump. Holding Y allows you to run and jump farther and faster. A is used to interact and talk with people. The X button does nothing. Now, Luigi needs to travel through each of these doors to a different city around the world, and in each of those cities, he needs to collect 3 missing artifacts from Koopas, and then return them to their rightful place. Alright, we're going to start with the leftmost door here. Let's just stomp on this first Koopa here. Now, the educational aspect of this game is that you are going to be learning and being tested on your knowledge of geography, history, and culture. And if we press the start button, we'll open up our toolbox, and we'll see we have an artifact there in the 3rd slot. We also have the computer, the globulator, which allows Yoshi to travel around the world to meet up with us wherever we are. The city map, which shows us the layout of all the streets, the locations of the tourist attractions, all of the Koopas, as well as the other characters that we can talk to. And lastly, the photo album, which doesn't have anything in it because we haven't taken any photos. I'll go over what the computer does in a moment. But to start with, we're just going to talk to this Princess Peach-looking woman at this information booth. And we can ask her, why is the Golden Gate Bridge closed today? She says, like the sign says, bud, the Golden Gate Bridge foghorn was stolen, and we can't reopen it until it gets returned. Here's a pamphlet with more information. And thus begins the educational aspect, where we are also tested on our reading comprehension. It says, extra, extra, valuable artifact missing. Missing the Golden Gate Bridge foghorn. Reward, $2,240. Bonus, $3,200. The Golden Gate Bridge. Although more of an orange color than its name suggests, the Golden Gate may be the world's most famous bridge. It was built in 1937, and it took over 4 years to complete. It is 4,200 feet long. The main cables are 36.5 inches in diameter and were designed to withstand winds of up to 100 miles per hour. Because the Golden Gate Bridge is covered in fog on most days, it is equipped with enormous foghorns. In the very middle, the bridge is 260 feet above the bay, just tall enough for Navy battleships to pass underneath. Now we have another option with her, which is to say, I want to return the top of the Trans-America Pyramid. She'll say, the top of the Trans-America Pyramid? I'm not missing the top of the Trans-America Pyramid. Come back when you have what I'm looking for. Goodbye. Alright, well there's nothing else for us to do on this street. This blue pipe that we entered through is also the way we will exit, but there's a pokey in the way. We'll deal with that a little later on. So these lines on the street indicate that there is a street that we can go down. Luigi always looks left and right before moving. And you can either go to your large city map there in the toolbox, or you can press the right bumper and bring up the mini-map. Now, once that's open, if you press the select button, it'll open the full map. So the main objective is to, one, walk around the city and talk to people to find out where you are. You can ask this professor scientist-looking fellow, "Where am I?" And he'll say no one was interested in San Francisco until the gold rush. You can also ask him, "What is this?" for the artifact you are currently holding. He says that was placed atop the most distinct building in downtown San Francisco in 1972, the year the pyramid was completed. Alright. Well, if you haven't gathered yet, we are in the city of San Francisco. Let's just head down this road here. Finish off a couple of these Koopas. Now, the artifacts are always held by the same Koopas, unless you make the mistake of leaving a city early without clearing it, in which case it gets randomized again. And we did get a second artifact there. That's what those little bags that get left behind by some of the Koopas. And if we have a look there, we can see it's this, interesting thing there. Head down one more street. And we found our final artifact. So let's go back there. All right, so the first one should be the foghorn. The second one we're not too sure about, but this third one is the top of the Trans-America Tower. Now, if you look at the city map, you'll see Luigi there on the right-hand side, standing near an information booth and a small pixelated version of the area of interest. Let's just move him out of the way, and you can see that is the Trans-America Tower, or at least a representation of it. Now, another person you can speak to in town is the police officer. Usually gives fairly accurate information. If you ask him about the top of the Trans-American Tower, he'll say, even if it is earthquake-proof, getting that top back on the Trans-America Pyramid might shake you up a bit. Alright, so having arrived at the correct information booth, let's just make sure, yes, we have the little white box selected on the pyramid there. We'll talk to the information booth attendant here. We can ask her, why is the Trans-America Pyramid closed today? And as she says, the top of the Trans-America Pyramid was stolen, and hands you a pamphlet with more information. And here it says, missing the top of the Trans-America Pyramid. Reward 1600, bonus 0. The Trans-America Pyramid. The Trans-America Pyramid on Columbus Avenue in downtown San Francisco was built in 1972. It has become a landmark due to its unusual shape. Standing 853 feet tall, the pyramid is said to have changed the distinct shape of the city's skyline. San Francisco is very susceptible to earthquakes, so the pyramid was built with a flexible concrete base, which makes it one of the most earthquake-proof of all of San Francisco's skyscrapers. Alright, now in order to return the artifact, we have it selected, ready to go. We have read the little information pamphlet. That isn't necessary, but it will help you when you try to return it, because she'll say, okay, but you'll have to prove your goods are authentic by answering a few questions. Which seems a bit odd. You would think they would do the authenticating rather than just asking you trivia questions about the site or the object in question. But if you say, sure, ask away, she'll ask you. There are 3 questions for each artifact, but you only need to get 2 correct. But you can't get one of them incorrect, or she will send you away. So the first question. The Transamerica Pyramid is earthquake-proof due to its, and we know that is the concrete base. And the pyramid is located, and as the pamphlet said, it is on Columbus Avenue. And she responds, at last, the top of the Transamerica Pyramid. We've been looking all over town. The mayor has authorized me to present you with this $1,600 reward. Thank you, and good luck finding Mario. Now that the door is open, we can head on inside and take a picture. Quite nice. Alright, now I'm going to have a little bit more of an explore around the city to show you some other things. You don't have to kill all of the Koopas, and once you have all of the artifacts, there really isn't any benefit to it. Now, going back into the computer here, you can see this grid laid out. So these are the people you can speak to. There is a child, a tourist, a woman in a very 1980s business suit, the professor, scientist, Einstein-looking fellow here, the police officer, and then the information pamphlets. Now, little check marks will tell you who you have asked about information about which subject. So the subjects being the foghorn, this second artifact, which I'll tell you is the window from the Coit Tower, the top of the Transamerica Pyramid, and where you are in the world. You'll also see your timer there at the bottom of the screen and the current reward that you have earned. Now, the timer is a little odd. It's not exactly how many seconds and minutes you spend inside the level, but rather everything that you do takes time off. So checking the computer takes time, talking to people takes time, reading pamphlets takes time, using the globulator to find out where you are, which we can do right now, since we have been told that we are in San Francisco. We'll just take the long route through Europe, apparently. Oh dear, I've got myself stuck. Nope, let's go back. Back, Yoshi. Alright, cut across the Atlantic Ocean there. Head on up into North America. There's Texas, and just to the west, San Francisco. So if you then press start and exit out of the toolbox, you'll see that now we have Yoshi with us. Very good. Now we can ask this businesswoman where we are. And again, she usually gives fairly accurate information. We can also ask her about the current artifact we're holding. Very good. And now where else? Ah yes, I'm going to head over here. You can use the green pipes to move from one part of the city to another a little bit faster. But I also want to introduce you to all of the characters that you can interact with. This fella here, the tourist, is not bad for information, but definitely not the most knowledgeable. Alright, so let's just duck into this pipe. And we've come out near the north side of the map. We'll move down one street and over. Let's make sure we've selected the correct artifact. And we can ask her, why is the Coit Tower closed today? And as she tells us, the window from the tower was stolen. Reading through this pamphlet, missing the window from Coit Tower, reward $1,999. The Coit Tower. Coit Tower stands 500 feet above the San Francisco Bay on top of Telegraph Hill. The structure takes its name from Lillian Hitchcock Coit, who donated $125,000 to have it built in 1934. The tower honors the San Francisco Fire Brigade. Shaped like a tall column, it is easy to see why people constantly remark that it resembles a fire hose. Inside, the tower is decorated with 16 large murals. The 25 mural artists were commissioned as part of the Make Work program designed to ease financial hardships during the Great Depression. So we can try to return the window now, and we'll see what questions she asks. On what hill does Coit Tower stand? And we know that is Telegraph Hill. What was the tower built to honor? That would be the San Francisco Fire Brigade. I remember as a kid I always read that as San Francisco Fire Bridge. Didn't really know what brigade meant, but let's head on inside and grab a picture. Very nice. And one last person I'd like to talk to is the kid, who isn't particularly useful, usually just makes puns. July 4th is the most important date when you're in the land of the 50 states. And if we ask him about the foghorn, he'll say, "It'll be a blast to put that back on a foggy day. You'll be 260 feet above San Francisco Bay." Well, fun times. I think that's an example of everyone that we've spoken to. Yes, that's right. So the child, the tourist, the businesswoman, the professor, the police officer, and we've read all of the pamphlets. Now, of course, we still have the foghorn to return. So let's head back towards where we began. Another thing that you'll notice is that the music is sort of Mario-inspired, but it will take on a different quality depending on where you are in the world. Now, this blue pipe will open up for us now that we have Yoshi. You can see that the Pokey is very much afraid of him. And you can leave the city early, but it will give you a message that the city was not cleared, so we're going to skip that for now and go to the information booth. And we want to return the Golden Gate Bridge foghorn. Questions being, the Golden Gate connects San Francisco Bay to... Now, this isn't in the pamphlet. I believe it is in one of the conversations you can have with the people around the city. But the answer is Marin County. Yeah, very good. And then the Golden Gate Bridge was built in... We have a selection of years, but it was 1937. Fantastic. Once again, we can head on inside, take a picture. Here's Luigi. He always looks very surprised in the little right-hand bottom corner there. And now, having returned all of the artifacts, and we still even have some time left, 4 minutes and 33. So we will score a time bonus for this city. We can also have a look into our, in our photo album and check the pictures that we've taken. Very nice. All right, and upon going down the tube, we'll have our city score, which is always the same. There's nothing that I've found that gives you a better score for the city, and then the time bonus on top of that. The game also provides you with a password every time you clear a city, so that you can save your progress in between play sessions. Pressing start will take you back to where you were in this first area of Bowser's Castle. Now, as I said, there are 5... Oh, now we can see, I believe that's Iggy Koopa, one of the Koopalings, who is waiting behind this door for you. But we will need to clear the other 4 doors before we fight him. And there are, for the Super Nintendo version, 3 areas of the castle that need to be cleared for a total of 15 cities, each with 3 artifacts for a total of 45 artifacts, if I've done my math correctly. Math isn't one of the things that this game teaches, but, you know, it's always good to keep in practice. Alright, Dan, well, that's everything I've got for today. Next time we'll head into another door and see where in the world is Luigi. San Diego. No, that's not right. Nah, I'm just kidding. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.